Hi, welcome to this lesson where we would learn about three-dimensional figures. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the properties of cubes, cuboids, pyramids, cones, cylinders, and spheres, and also find the volume of a cube and a cuboid. Are you ready? Let's begin. Based on what you've learned in previous classes about three-dimensional shapes, can you guess what a three-dimensional figure is? Not to worry, I will tell you. A three-dimensional figure is a shape that has three dimensions, which includes length, breadth, and height. There are many types of three-dimensional figures, and most of them look like two-dimensional shapes, such as squares, circles, triangles, etc. Can you recall some examples of three-dimensional figures? Some examples include cylinders, pyramids, cuboids, spheres, and so on and so forth. These shapes might be similar but are different from one another. Let's take a look at the properties of some of these shapes. Cubes and cuboids both have 6 faces, and they both have 12 edges and 8 vertices. The word vertices is the plural of the word vertex, and a vertex is where 2 or more shaped lines meet. The difference between cubes and cuboids is that cubes have 6 equal faces, while cuboids have 3 equal opposite faces. A common example of cubes include sugar cubes, a dice, etc. An example of cuboids include matchboxes, books, bricks, etc. Now let's look at pyramids and cones. Both pyramids and cones have a flat base and they have a pointed edge at the top. However, pyramids have 4 sides, 3 triangular sides and 1 square side, while cones have 2 sides, 1 curved side and a circular side. Pyramids have 8 edges, but a cone has only 1. Pyramids have 5 vertices and cones have just 1 at the top of the shape. Finally, let's look at cylinders and spheres. The top and bottom faces of cylinders are circles. The top and bottom faces are joined by 1 curved surface that has an equal length and breadth. Spheres, on the other hand, are three-dimensional figures that are perfectly round. They have no edges. That's one of the things that makes it different from the cylinder. Cylinders have 2 edges. Cylinders have 3 faces or sides, while spheres have none. Examples of cylinders include battery cells, tissue rolls, and paint buckets, while examples of spheres include footballs, earth globes, etc. Now let's talk about volume. According to the dictionary, in mathematics, it is the magnitude of the three-dimensional space enclosed within or occupied by an object or geometric solid. To get the volume of a cube, we need to use a simple formula, which is V is equal to L cube. L stands for length, so the volume of a cube is length times length times length. This is because the length of a cube are all equal. Let's look at an example. We have a cube of sugar with length 1.5 centimeters. How do we find its volume? We say V is equal to length times length times length, which is equal to 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5, and this is equal to 3.375 centimeters cube. So the volume of our cube of sugar is 3.375 centimeters cube. The next shape we are going to consider is the cuboid. To get the volume of a cuboid, we use the formula V is equal to L times B times H. L stands for length, B stands for breadth, H stands for height. Let's look at an example. Gabriel's book is 20 centimeters long, 13 centimeters wide, and 7 centimeters high. To find the volume of his book, we'll use the formula V is equal to L times B times H, which is 20 times 13 times 7. Our answer will be 1,820 centimeters cubed. With that, we have now come to the end of today's lesson. Today we learnt about three-dimensional shapes, and we also looked at how to find the volume of a cube and cuboid using examples. See you in the next lesson.